Welcome. I am excited for what we have got going on today in class. Let me share my screen so we are all on the same page. Remember, we're talking about the Johari window today. I am going to pull up our agenda again so that we can all know exactly what is going on. So we've already checked a couple of these things off today, but I want to just remind us where we're headed for our class time. We did the check-in and attendance. It was really fun to hear about everyone's weekend. Thank you for sharing. Great job reviewing what we worked on last week. Wonderful questions. So grateful that everyone's asking some questions. And then we did look ahead a little bit, and we'll look ahead again at the end of class to talk through our Johari assignment, our Johari window assignment. So make sure if you've got questions, I want to know what they are so that we can ask them and we are all on the same page and know what's coming up. Thank you to our volunteers who helped play our icebreaker, Two Truths and a Lie. Those volunteers are going to get some extra credit points. So I'm very grateful for the time that you took to help us with that. So there's a reason why we did the icebreaker. You were telling things about yourself. We're talking through self-disclosure a little bit. The Johari window is going to bring that idea up. So it was just a fun, silly game for us to play to kind of help us learn more about one another. So next, we're going to move into our Johari window lecture, and we're going to talk about what the Johari window is and how we can use it. And then we're going to have a breakout room activity after the lecture portion. And then we'll wrap up class with talking about our Johari window assignment, like I mentioned. And then we'll take any questions that anybody might have. All right. So let's just remind ourselves about a couple of terms, review of terminology as we move forward. So we're in a interpersonal communication class. That's the action or interaction between individuals and or in a small group setting. So how we're talking, what we're doing, verbal, nonverbal communication. And we're going to look at the idea of disclosure today, and specifically self-disclosure. But really, this is the communication of personal information between people. It could be feelings, experiences, thoughts, beliefs, all of those things that make up who we are. And we usually typically will do this and disclose more information with people whom we have a deeper trust with or a longer relationship with. And really, hopefully that disclosure is reciprocated between two people. That increases our effectiveness in our communication, but also deepens the level of relationship that we have. So all of our slides are going to be available. Don't worry, if you don't want to write down notes, awesome. If not, these will be made available to you. All right, so as we think about the Johari window, let's look at this. Are you having a difficult time with a relationship? I want us to kind of just think through some of these questions. It's going to prepare us as we move forward to the Johari window. So if you're having difficulty in a relationship or with a certain friend or family member, the Johari window can help solve some conflict. It can help us develop intimacy or empathy and intimacy and increase our self-awareness and our awareness of other people. Tools like the Johari window can help us gain insight into personal relationships and increase our communication effectiveness. And understanding strengths and weaknesses can help us better evaluate our own personal growth, and also can impact our relationships, and it can evaluate how our personal growth can impact our relationships. So the Johari window is a helpful interpersonal awareness tool. It is just a tool, but it is one that really can increase our self-awareness, like we mentioned, and can also increase our awareness of others and our different interpersonal relationships. Now, knowing more about people in our lives can increase our empathy, like I mentioned before. It can help us in conflict, but it can also increase our communication effectiveness within those interpersonal relationships. So tools like the Johari window offer us insight into motivations, feelings, experiences, personality traits, and desires of others and also of ourselves. And the Johari window, it was developed by Joseph Left and Harry Ingham in the 1950s. So if you'll look at the spelling of Johari window, it's a combination of their first names, which I think is kind of interesting. So we're going to think of a visual of a 4-paned window because there are 4 areas to the Johari window, and we're going to break down exactly what this means. So I'm going to show us a visual just so we can really understand what this looks like. And we're going to go area by area. There are 4, like I mentioned. So the first is the open area. Now, these are beliefs or attitudes, behaviors, feelings, even roles that we hold, experiences, skills, views or beliefs, positions that we hold in life, all of those things. And they are all known to others. They are known to others and known to us. So it's open. It's something that we are easily willing to share with other people. It's something that maybe perhaps even an acquaintance would know. It's things that we are willing to share with other people in our lives. So really, the important thing about this is that we understand these areas are going to shift in size depending on the work that we do and also depending on the relationship. Now, my open area might be a little bit smaller, say with someone who I don't know as well, an acquaintance, but somebody that I've known for a long time, that area is going to be a lot bigger because they're going to know a lot more about me. The second area is the blind area. So these are behaviors or mannerisms, abilities or skills that are unknown to oneself. So they are known to other people, but not known to you, which is why it's called the blind area. These are things that we do that we are not aware of, but other people can observe about us. All right, the third area, it is our hidden or closed area. So this is information or feelings, dreams, hopes, fears, sensitivities, hidden agendas, or sometimes, unfortunately, even manipulative intentions that are unknown to other people, but known to us. So we can see this breakdown here of right here, known to self are the open and the hidden areas, and then not known to self are the blind and the unknown area. And then we can see across this way, known to others is the open and the blind, and then not known to others is the hidden and the unknown. So let's talk about the unknown area. So these are our feelings, behaviors, attitudes, capabilities, perhaps even an unknown skill, or it could be an unknown fear or aversion. I talked example for an aversion to food. Perhaps you have an aversion to something that you've never tasted, but you do not know that you have an aversion to this because you've never experienced that. And nobody else knows that you're going to have an aversion to it because they haven't witnessed you or observed you experiencing that. So sometimes these things in the unknown area can be really difficult because sometimes there can be things from traumatic events in our lives or things that are really difficult that impact this unknown area. And through self-discovery and observations from other people, hopefully this unknown area is going to shrink a little bit and it's going to become known to ourselves. And then when we're ready, it can become known to other people. So I just want to encourage you that as we're thinking through the Johari window, sometimes there are things that are in our hidden areas that maybe we're not fully comfortable sharing. And we have to have an awareness of our levels of trust and safety with certain people in order to disclose certain things. So I just want to put this out there right now. You will be doing a Johari window assignment, and sometimes this can be challenging. So I want you to only share the information that you really feel comfortable with sharing. All right. So we're going to look at how, when we use feedback and self-disclosure, that these different areas in our life can shift. So you'll see these red dotted lines, and that's really representing that the open area is getting much bigger. So when we ask other people to help us see the things in our blind area, it's going to increase our openness. And we do this through feedback. So this is why feedback and disclosure is so important. Feedback, when we ask a question and we get feedback from someone else in our life, a trusted person, those blind things can be moved into the open area. And the same with hidden. As we self-disclose, when we are self-disclosure, through that, we can increase our open area by being willing to share certain information that was hidden and now is not. And then through self-discovery and also others' observations, which kind of is this idea of shared discovery, our unknown area begins to shrink because those unknown things move into the known area. And the things that are in our unknown could either go to the hidden, to the blind, or to the open area, depending on who discovers them. So this is why this is so important. So feedback and disclosure help to increase the size of our open area. But say there's something from our unknown area and somebody else observes it, but we don't ask for feedback or they don't share it with us, that's going to go into the blind area because now someone else knows, but we ourselves do not know. But perhaps through some observations and feedback from other people and self-discovery, we figure something out about ourselves, but we're maybe not ready to share it yet. Then it would go into the hidden area. Or perhaps we learn this thing and we're ready to tell somebody and it goes into the open area. So our open area size can change depending on the work that we put in and the feedback we get from other people. So shared discovery decreases our unknown area. All right, this is just a fun, silly example of a Johari window for Harry Potter. So I'm only going to read a couple of these from each area, but this is just to get us thinking because what we're going to do for our breakout room activity is we're going to fill in a Johari window for another movie character. Okay, so first in the open area for Harry, he's an orphan and his aunt and uncle and cousin don't like him and his parents died in a car accident. Those are all known things. All right, in his blind area, for a while, Harry was not aware of the fact that his mother was a Muggle-born witch. Okay, so that's an example. And then in the hidden area, something that Harry did not expose is that he's mistreated and lives under the stairs. All right. Now, here's a couple examples from the unknown. So that was the hidden area. So this is the unknown area on the bottom. One thing is that Harry is unaware that he is brave and courageous and that he is excellent on a broomstick. Those are things that people do not know, other people do not know, and Harry himself did not know. So that's just a silly example, but here is an open and blank Johari window. So when I break you up, we're going to go into breakout rooms. You are going to, I'm going to put into the chat box a link to a Google Doc. It's a Google slideshow, excuse me. And what you're going to do is you're going to go in with your group. One person is going to edit your group's slide and you're going to put in this information. But before we do that, I would really love to share with you what I would put in my Johari window, just to give you some more examples and to help you think through what this all could look like. So first, in my open area. So remember again, we talked about through self-disclosure and feedback that this area could open up. And my open area is going to look a little different with somebody who's very, very close to me versus someone who I'm just starting to get to know. So the thing that is known to myself and known to others is that I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I'm outgoing, I enjoy public speaking, I'm a cook and a baker, and I'm adventurous. So those are things that even if I was just getting to know you, I would feel very comfortable and it's easy for me to share. So let's go to the blind. So in meetings, I was not aware of this until recently. I tend to click the top of my pen without knowing that I'm doing this. It is something that's blind to me. I also bounce my leg up and down when I'm sitting at a table. Those are things that I do without even really realizing it. They're blind to me. And I'm sure they're probably quite irritating to some people. All right, hidden, and now into the hidden area, or my closed area. I struggled with anxiety and fear for several years. Now, there's a couple people in my life that are aware of this, but really, I don't disclose this super often to a lot of different people. I'm starting to feel more comfortable with it, so it's moving into my open area. But it's something that if I'm just getting to know you, I'm not telling you right away. Now, in my unknown area, this is a challenge to think through. But for me, I think there are certain things that I am unaware of and that other people are unaware of from the impact of having a sibling diagnosed with cancer at a young age. So when I was in high school, my brother was diagnosed with cancer. And there are some things that I am sure impact me in my personality and my perspective, and maybe even some fears of mine that I'm not fully aware of and other people aren't aware of either. So those are just some examples from my life. So now what I would love us to do is I'm going to break all of us up into breakout rooms. So remember, I'm going to be coming in and checking on you, making sure you're on task. Like I mentioned before, we have a Google slideshow that you're going to click the link on in our chat, and I'm going to have you edit the Johari window. It's just a blank Johari window. Each slide is titled with a Marvel character. So each room, which I will broadcast this to the rooms so you don't forget what character you have, but you're going to fill out the Johari window for this character. Whatever room you're in, that is the character you are assigned to. So you're going to fill out the Johari window based off of your character. So just a couple of reminders. This is what it's going to look like in the Google slide. Okay, so you're going to fill out all 4 areas. So here's some instructions. In your breakout rooms, you're gonna probably have about 10 minutes or so. I might give you 15, we'll see. I'm gonna check in with everyone and make sure you're having enough time. But just encourage you, do your best, be creative, and have fun. This can be silly. I want you to take it seriously, but have fun, all right? And then I will give you a countdown so you know how much time you have left. I know that can be stressful if you don't know, so don't worry. And then we're gonna come back and we're gonna share the different Johari windows with the whole class. So I'll open up the Google slideshow and share my screen with you, and we'll do it. So you need to actually fill this out because everyone is expected to. All right. And then after, we're going to come back and we're going to just answer these following questions. We're going to talk about the activity. We'll talk through your Johari window assignment, and then think through how could this Marvel activity help us as we fill out our own Johari windows. And then we'll wrap up with any questions that anyone might have about our assignment or anything that we talked about today. All right, I will take questions now, and then I'm going to break you all up into your breakout rooms. Thank you so much.